If you're planning on buying any cards from TCG Player, make sure you use our affiliate link right here in the description of our video to help support the channel. It's the best way to do it and it's free. Looking for PTGO codes? Poton Store has all the latest sets and promos, instantly delivered to your email. You can use Tablemon code when checking out for 5% off. Card Market is Europe's largest online marketplace for Pokemon cards. Whether you're looking for sealed product or singles, vintage or the latest sets, just follow the link in the description to find what you need. If you're looking for sealed product, Paladin Cards has some of the best deals and you can get 5% off any purchase with code TABLEMON5. This video is sponsored by the Pokemon TCG deck building website PokemonCard.io. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day here at Tablemon. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be taking a look at another deck from Lost Origin, this time featuring Hisuian Goodra VSTAR, which has 270 HP, has the VSTAR ability Moist Star, where you remove all damage counters from this Pokemon. Obviously pretty good, as you are quite sturdy with your attack. Iron Roll doing 200 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 80 less damage from attacks. Now, the attack cost is obviously very awkward, as it usually is for Giant-type Pokemon. It costs 1 water, 1 metal, and 1 colorless. But there are many ways you could go about powering up Goodra, one of which is Arceus VSTAR. Another is a Melony engine mixed with metal energies here and there. But the one that we are playing today is similar to yesterday's deck featuring Giratina, which utilizes Mirage Gate. Mirage Gate allows you to search your deck for up to 2 energy cards of different types and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Now, we can only use this card if you have 7 or more cards in our Lost Zone, so we are going to be using our Lost Zone cards, such as Colress's Experiment and Comfey, in order to make sure that we get those cards in the Lost Zone. Comfey, when it's in the active spot with its ability Flower Calling, lets you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, and you put one of them into your hand, and then you put the other into a Lost Zone. So by using a bunch of Comfeys over the course of 1 or 2 turns, including recycling the Comfey with Scoop of Net that we do play, you get to utilize the ability and then you get a lot of usage out of it, and you get to put some cards in the Lost Zone. Now, which card you put in the Lost Zone has to be very specific. You really have to evaluate which card helps you, which card doesn't help you, and make a decision based off of that. Now, Colress's Experiment will also help us by letting us look at the top 5 cards of our deck. We put 3 of them into our hand and we put the remaining cards into a Lost Zone. So remember, the Lost Zone is a zone where it is like the discard pile. Those cards are no longer cannot be accessed, but they cannot be recovered to things like Ordinary Rot. Nothing recovers things from the Lost Zone, which makes sense as they are literally in basically a parallel universe or something like that. So we are going to utilize Colress and Comfey to get those energies into a Lost Zone so we can activate Mirage Gate. And in the process, whilst we activate that and we power up our Goodra, we do play a copy of Cramorant, which with its ability Lost Province, if there are 4 more cards in our Lost Zone, this Pokemon can use its attacks for no energy, which means we can Goofy Speed for 110 damage, pretty solid amount, and it costs 0, right? 0. So you can lead with this and then you follow up by powering up your Goodra and start preventing damage whilst dishing damage, which is really nice. We have Choice Belt to increase the damage, and then finally we also have FANTINA, which goes with the whole protective snail, big sturdy snail theme of Goodra, where you can only use this card if there are 10 or more cards in your Lost Zone, so a hefty cost. But the payoff is worth it, as during your opponent's next turn, your Pokemon take 120 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon V's attacks. So if you combine Fantina's 120 damage reduction with Goodra's Iron Roll's 80 damage reduction, that's minus 200 damage in your or during your opponent's next turn. Now, of course, they can boss and play around this effect. However, they can't play around the Fantina effect, thankfully, and it's just like instead of trying to heal in order to make 2 hit KOs into 3 hit KOs or 3 KOs into 4 hit KOs, we actually don't even let our opponents do enough damage. 200 seems to be around the number that, like anywhere between the 200 and 250 range, seems to be the number that most decks are hitting usually, two-shotting each other. There are some exceptions that can also 1 KO by doing 280 and upwards, but they require more resources, they're not as common. So, yeah, I do expect this tanky deck to potentially be pretty good. But like I said, this is one version of the deck. You could pair this with Arceus and or with a Melony based engine, or perhaps even a Bronzong with Metal Saucers based engine, though that seems very unreliable, but you never know, right? If you pull it off and then you have the potential use of Cheryl to heal whatever damage your opponent actually managed to deal to Goodra, then that could be a decent combo as well. So many things to potentially explore. Now, outside of these brand new cards, we do feature Radiant Greninja to help us draw cards, along with Training Court and a bunch of energies. We do play 14. The 4 Capture Energy are really good to help improve the deck's consistency, along with the 4 Quick Ball. We only play 2 Evolution Incense, as we do only play 3 Evolutions. So we don't, and like it's gonna take us like a couple of turns to get all the cards in the Lost Zone to really power up Goodra. Another cool thing about Mirage Kate is we can actually power up Radiant Greninja in order to attack with it, so that's actually pretty cool. Getting a double 90 damage snipe out of the blue could potentially be useful in some situations. And we also have Boss's Orders to chase down whatever we need, Barney and Roxanne to disrupt our opponent's hand, a bunch of switching cards along with the Scoop Up Net, as our Pokemon do have hefty retreat costs, especially if we start with a Goodra. We will need a switch or perhaps an Herbal plus an attachment in order to get Comfey into the active and start getting those cards lost zoned as fast as we can, so we can power up. The Hisuian Heavy Ball helps us unlock a Cramorant or Greninja that we might have needed, or even a Comfey for extra lost zone potential. We have Palpat to recycle our supporters. We have the Herbaloon that I mentioned to retreat, along with Choice Bell to increase our damage output from 200 to 230, so we can actually take KOs on regular Pokemon V. Otherwise, we would always be either 10 or 20 short. Training Court lets us recover the energies that we discard along the way, which is really nice, and is a Path to a Peak counter, though the only Pokemon that is affected by Path to a Peak is Radiant Greninja, so that's a good feature of this deck. So yeah, like I said, many ways you can go about this. You could just play this as sort of like Arceus Duraludon, but Arceus Hisuian Goodra. I have also seen in Japan players are playing Arceus Duraludon VMAX and Hisuian Goodra VSTAR all in the same deck, so that's another route you can go. So plenty of ways to experiment with this. I like the combination of Lost Zone cards plus powering up quickly. So once the set comes out on TCG, we'll definitely take a look at the sets and the different variants of Goodra as a whole. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.